Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and it's match day 23 in the English Premier League. And as we look ahead to the weekend's fixtures, I mean, what the way the league is set up is so beautiful, so tight. Three teams at the top with just a 6-point difference between them. Liverpool at 50 at the top of the table. Arsenal and Nottingham Forest second and third, 44 points respectively. Liverpool do have a game in hand, so that's going to be quite important for them. Then you come back for those European places. You have 7 teams from Chelsea at 4th, still Fulham at 10th, just 7 points. Difference between the 7 teams, so anybody can finish in those European places. It is looking so tight to come down at relegation. I think Southampton are basically done, if I'm being very honest with you. But then you have Wolves, you have Leicester, you have Ipswich, and you have Everton fighting it out to make sure that they are not the other 2 teams who end up in that relegation places. 6 points between those 4 teams as well. And then there's Manchester United all over the place, Tottenham Hotspur all over the place. I mean, Spurs are more close to being in that relegation fight than to qualifying for Europe. So it is quite interesting as we head on to the matches. So let's go ahead and make our prediction. The first game, it is Brighton versus Everton. Now, the thing is, Brighton have been quite inconsistent, if I'm being very honest with you, the last a month or so. They are either really good or they are either really bad, so you just don't know which Brighton are going to show up. Everton, they had an amazing victory against Spurs last weekend, but I think that was sort of one of they are going to have performances like this under Moyes, but I think most of them are going to come at home at the Goodison Park. But I think the away form is going to be a bit of a problem. I just don't think they are just going to come out and start playing start winning games just like that. I think it's going to be quite a close game, and I think Brighton are just going to edge it. I feel it's going to be quite a close game, hard fought win for Brighton. I'm going for a 2-1 win for Brighton. Up next, it's Liverpool versus Ipswich Town. It is first versus 18th, undefeated in their last 5 games. Liverpool playing against Ipswich, 3 defeats in their last 5 games. It is at Anfield. It's a very simple result. There is not going to be any other result apart from this. I'm going for a Mo Salah hat-trick, and I'm going for a literally a murder on at the Anfield, which I'm going for a 7-0 win for Liverpool. Moving on, it is Southampton versus Newcastle United. It is 20th versus 6th. And now Southampton have not won almost for about 2 months now. And I don't think that's going to change. For me, I think they are done. They are playing a much better football, but they are not getting the results, if I'm being very honest with you. They are playing against a Newcastle side who lost after so long last weekend. So they would want to, get back to winning games. They would want response. The fans would want the response as well. And I think they are going to get it. I just don't see any other result. Again, Southampton have been quite dreadful. And I think Newcastle have got the best game to get a response for their fans. I'm going for a very easy 3-0 win for Newcastle. And then it's Wolves versus Arsenal. It is 17th versus a 2nd. Wolves, they are winners in the last 4 games, 3 defeats in a row for them as well. So they are not coming in with a good form in this game. Playing against an Arsenal side, undefeated in their last 6 games. But the problem with Arsenal is like Arsenal and Liverpool are basically copying each other. To be very honest, if one team drops points one weekend, the other team is going to drop points next weekend. Arsenal, I personally feel like they got a bit unlucky last weekend against Aston Villa. They should have won that game, but then they messed it up, and then the referee made it sure that they don't win that game. They were amazing against Zagreb midweek, so they would hope that it can continue. It's an away game. It could be a bit of tough game for Arsenal, but I think we are gonna scrap it in the end. I'm going for a 2-1 win for Arsenal. Then it's Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest. This is like one of those games that nobody thought would be so important in the context of where teams are going to finish and who's going to qualify for Europe. But here we are after a match day 22, and this game is quite important. I think it's going to be quite a fun game to watch. Both these teams are undefeated in their last 6-7 games. They are coming in the game with a lot of confidence as well. And I think it is going to be one of those games where we don't get a winner, but we get a great game of football. I'm going for a 2-all draw between Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. Then it's the big one. It is Manchester City versus Chelsea. And now where do I start with this game? I mean, both these teams have become so unpredictable. Either they could turn up tomorrow and both of them could play one of the best games that they have played this season, or both of them could be atrocious. I think I really don't know which City and which Chelsea are going to turn up. Both of them are having a horrendous season, to be very honest with you. I think it's going to be quite a close game, quite a fun game. I think they are going to be close in this game. Both the defenses are terrible. Both the attacks I have not performed to the level they could have performed, but then they have Cole Palmer, then they have Erling Haaland. So you have players on both sides that can just pop up and score goals. They are Manchester City. I have a new signing in Omar Marmoush as well. He is a special player. Will he play tomorrow? That is a big question as well. But I think this game is not going to give us a winner. I think it's going to end up in a draw. And just like the Bournemouth Nottingham Forest game, I think there are going to be goals in this case game as well. I'm going for a 2-all draw between Manchester City and Chelsea. Moving on, it is Tottenham Hotspur versus Leicester City. Spurs have not won in their last 7 games. 6 or 5 of them have been defeats. Playing against a Leicester City side who have not won a game for almost 2 months. 8 defeats in a row now. 7 defeats, sorry, in a row for now for Leicester City. So both these teams are in a horrendous form coming into this game. And I really don't know what to predict. I mean, Spurs lost against Everton last weekend, so I really don't know what Spurs are gonna do. Luckily for them, I would say that they are the home side, so I think that should give them a bit of an advantage, and I think they are going to take it. I don't think that. I think that this game is going to be a very good game of football. But again, they are going to play that high line. You have Jamie Vardy playing for Leicester, so we might see another a shocking result for Spurs. But I don't think it is going to happen. I think Spurs are going to win finally, and I think it is going to be in this game. I'm going for a 2-1 win for Spurs. Moving on, it's the London Derby. It is Crystal Palace versus Brentford. It is 12th versus 11th. Now, both these teams are right at the moment. They are at mid-table. They are not in contention to qualify for Europe, which I think is a bad thing for Brentford because 2-3 weeks they were one of those teams who could potentially go and qualify for Europe. So it has been a bad run of form for them. For the last 5 games, there has been not a single win for them. They are playing against a Crystal Palace side who 2-3 weeks ago were one of those teams who were fighting for relegation. So they have moved up 3 wins in their last 5 games. So they are looking really good. Crystal Palace currently, it's a London derby as well. It is at Selhurst Park as well. I think there are going to be goals in this game. This game could easily go ahead and end up in a draw, but just because of the way that they are playing and the form is happening and the way because the game is at Selhurst Park, I think Crystal Palace are going to win it. I'm going for a 3-1 win for Crystal Palace. Then it's Aston Villa versus West Ham. It is 8th versus 14th. Aston Villa in their last 4 games have been really good. 2 wins and 2 draws. They've sort of, they had a rough patch in the Premier League. They have sort of bounced back from that and they've started to get back to, at the top of the table, getting into those European places, getting back into the Champions League places is very important for them. They're playing against a West Ham side. 3 defeats in their last 5 games. Other 2 have been wins. They lost last weekend as well. So the West Ham, they have a new manager as well. So it will be interesting to see what Graham Potter can do. It is going to take him time. That's quite evident, to be very honest with you. But I think it is going to be an easy win for Aston. Not an easy win, but I think they are going to win it. Aston Villa, they how they lost to Monaco in midweek in the Champions League. I still have no idea because they were by far the better team. I think this game could go that way as well, to be very honest with you. But I think it's going to be quite a fun game. They are going to because Graham Potter has the players and he likes to play that attacking football. And I think we are going to see that. And of course, Unai Emery is going to play his style. I'm going for a very close, very hard 2-1 win for Aston Villa. And the final game of the match day 23 in the Premier League is Fulham versus Manchester United. It is 10th versus 13th. Now Fulham are one of those teams, as I said, who are fighting it out to get into those European places. They have won 3 out of their last 5 games. They lost last weekend, so that is going to be on their mind. They have shown a bit of inconsistency, Fulham, but they are playing against the Manchester United side who are all over the place. They lost last weekend as well. 3 defeats in their last 5 games. Manchester United are all over the place. You just don't know which Manchester United are going to come in. I think Marco Silva and his team are going to look at this game and they are going to, with the way that they are playing, they are going to have that belief that we are going to get the result. And I think they are going to be able to, get the win. And I think, unfortunately for Manchester United and Ruben Amorim, they are going to suffer another defeat here as well. And I think, unfortunately, again for Manchester United, it is going to be quite a comfortable win for Fulham. I'm going for a 2-0 win for Fulham. And with that, my predictions for match day 23 are completed. What do you guys think about my predictions? Let me know in the comment section below. Make your own predictions as well. And we'll see how many of them are right and how many of them are wrong at the end of the weekend. So yeah, that's it for me in this video. Like the video, share it as well. Click on the notification bell and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of February. So please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye-bye.